name is Monica Gutierrez, and I am going to talk about the country of Switzerland. It is culture, it is historical economic, that as well, it is economic indicators. Switzerland is a located country in Central Europe, and it is one of the most beautiful places to live. Incredible mountains, lots of lakes and beautiful vines create their most beautiful landscapes in Switzerland. But it is not how it has a modern market economy in which the price of goods and services is determined in a free price system. Switzerland is often considered to have one of the highest standards of living in the world, taking into account factors include good infrastructure and public transport, personal safety, high income potential, and easy access to nature. Switzerland economic is strong, has one of the most competitive economics on of the world's highest per capita GDPs and highest skilled labor force. Its official name is Swiss Confederation. Switzerland is a border to the west by France, to the north by Germany, to the east by Austria, to the east by Austria and Liechtenstein, and to the south by Italy. It is extend about 135 miles from north to south and 220 miles. It is wider extend from west to the east. The population of Switzerland is 8,119,800. Switzerland can be divided into three distinct geographic regions. The Alps covers traveling, while 58% of the country, the center pattern around 31%, and the during 11%. Settlements areas cover 7.5% of Switzerland is territory. This includes areas give of the housing, infrastructure, wide trade, industry and transport, water, energy supply, wastewater disposal, as well as green and recreation space. Around 40% of Switzerland is used for agriculture, while 30% is covered by forests and woodland. The Swiss culture is distinguished by its diversity, has the country lies as the crossroad of several obsiding. Here, culture Switzerland is allows multilingual country has its national language include German, French, Italian, and Romansh. In addition, there are numerous dialects spoken in every region. Each canton has its unique cultural factors. The culture, custom, and tradition differs in different regions of the country. Has each canton and municipality has culture autonomy. In the small country of Switzerland, there is also distinguished between their culture in the most and the culture on the center patrol. This means This means that the life in the mountain valley is different for there is the by city. There's over it's over times in why there increase in tourism. Some local customs have achieved national fame. Switzerland, its culture is also famous for the arts and craft, mainly watchmaking. The country of Swiss watches when a respected reputation. During the past decades, the International Clock Museum in Le Chaux de Fonds presents a vast collection of 4,500 tip space, including more than 700 wall clocks. A laundersmith by nurse coming for the taking of their clothes. This museum is relaxing place to visit. The Swiss culture also represents the culinary of Switzerland, which Switzerland make it is a real live favorite of forties. On Kent stays a good number of national dishes aware as the regional special regardless of the canton there I visited. Switzerland has an enthusiastic music express spread all over the corners, helping for music, blueser in from of skills and competition. The, the, the unification of Switzerland economy was hidden by the developer of a rail network that the rapid Spain has soon as their new constitution had been approved. In 1847, the first railroads opened between Zurich and Baden. Because of the influence of the railing barons, the most prominent of one has Alfred Eschers from Zurich. The Swiss borders in 1898 to national the maze line in 1902, the Swiss Federal Reserve has formed. The finance rail construction issues in 1856 founded one of Switzerland's largest and the most successful banks. The creditors lines six other largest commercial bankers were also established in 1850. Another efforts of their quick development of rail and maritime transportation was their warning importation of wild cereals, which plundered Swiss agriculture in their crisis in 1815. More than half their grain consumer was produced domestically, but by 1914, their measure stood at about 1/5. In the same period, the number of Swiss employers in agriculture from more than half to 1/4. In the economic depression of the 1870s, the textile industry also lost its primordial position. Economic indicators. GDP growth rate The economy of Switzerland spends 1.8% on quarters in the 3 months to June 2021. Japan from Darwin reside 0.4%, drop in their process period has many coronavirus restrictions were lifetime of relaxed. Is compared with market first gains of 2%, where the service sector recording Boston of the authors in category 48.9%, as category establishment had been allowed to the gradual repoint, and domestic tourism has restrained. Allure the barriers create by the sector is still about half of their before decreases. Other increase we are shown is there are in trainer in leisure sectors wide 15.9%, trade 4.8%, in transportation wide 1.8%, while financial service fell 0.7%. Meanwhile, prepaid spenders surged 4.1%, public spenders 5.5%, though the stationary spenders to the while the pandemic and investment in capital goes 1.6% year-on-year. The economy in Spain are at a record 7.7%, along belongs forecast of 9%. GDP constant price in Switzerland increased to 182,933 Swiss francs and Swiss 2 CHF millions in the second quarter of 2021 from 179,700 Swiss francs and 33 CHF millions in the first quarters of the 2021. The service sector recovers the others in categories. Industry recovers by 48%, was category established have been allowed the gradual repoint, and domestic tourism has restrained allowed the barriers created by sector. It is still about half of their buffers decreases. They are entertainment and leisure sectors recovering by 15.9%, trade by 4.8%, and transportation by 8.9%, while financial service fell 0.7%. As a result, prepaid spending surged 4.1%, public experienced 5.5% due to their extraordinary expenditures to the draw by the pandemic and investment in capital goods 1.6% years on years. The economy explained at the record 17.7% allowed along below 4% and 9%. The Swiss National Bank holds its policy rate are 0.75%, and their interest rate it trains on overnight deposit hits hold of commercial banks may 0.75%. At it is September 2021 meeting has expensive. Policymakers say there are maintaining an inspectionary monetary policy why abide to ensure this price. The story price established and provide ongoing support to the Swiss economics, depend every month by the ACB and their use for to start market policy learning. The post-pandemic recovery, the central bank raising inflation forecast for the 2021 to 0.5% in 2022 to 0.7%. Meanwhile, price for oil products as well has supply blockers need. Inflation rate, the annual inflation rate in Switzerland rose to 1.2% in October of 2021 for 0.9% amount early in Switzerland about market concerns. 1.1%. It is the highest range size since August to 2028 at the same time price. Partners for food under no alcohol, figures, clothing, and footwear, healthcare, communication, and recreation and culture. On a monthly basic consumers price with up 0.1% in October, the most in 5 months after after being unchanged in September. Employment rate in Switzerland decreased to 78.50% in the second quarter of 2021 from 78.70% in the first quarter of 2021. Unemployment, the Swiss unemployment rate edged down to a non-self at first 2.5%. In October 2021, the loss were since February 2020, the number of unemployment people fell by 3,561 or 3%. Maintaining the joint unemployment rate measures job seekers between 15 and 24 years old declines to a 27-month lag of 2.1%. From 2.4% in September, while the numbers of joint unemployment figures 1,302 of 11%. Government debt to GDP. Switzerland recovers government debt to GDP of 42.90% of the country gross domestic product in 2020. Balance of three. Switzerland is surprised edge of their CHF 40.4 balance in October 2021. The from CHF 4.3 balance in the previous month, export praise 1.4% month on month. Degree though by sales. Degree done by sales of chemicals and pharmaceutical products, precision instruments, and vehicles. Amongst major trade partners, export were the UK mains 8.6%, China mains 3.4%, Japan mains 0.4%, and the USA mains their 0.5% by increase to the United States 3.7%. Worldwide imports falls at their faster 2.3% to the 3-month alarm on lower purchase of cosmetic and pharmaceutical products, foods and vegetables, vehicles, and plastics. Considering the first month of their years, the trade surprise widened the CHF 40.6 balance of their CHH 20 balance in the same period of year early. Current record account surprise of 3.80% of the country gross domestic products in 2020. Oh. Markets. Currency Swiss francs rebound from its 7 weeks lower the trade around 0.93 for per USA. Amid a pause in the recent dollar rally has investor anticipates the firm could transition to a more watching, staying to recent inflation figures. Meanwhile, the freeze continued to gain against the euro increase to great 6 years highs. The CH20 increased 18 20 points or 70.01% since their beginning of 2021, according to trading on a countries of difference CFD that tracks this benchmark index from the Switzerland. Labor. The number of employers person in Switzerland decreased to 5,015 to in the second quarter of 2021 from 5,054,000 in the first quarter of 2021. Capital flows. Switzerland records a capital and financial account surprise of 11,831 Swiss francs in 49. CHF Milan in the second quarter of 2021. Current account, Switzerland current account surprise widened to CHF 10.51 billion in the June quarter of 2021 from CHF 3.21 billion in the same period last year. The good surprise expander markers to CHF 23.47 billion. Bank's balance? No, money. Bank's balance shares in Switzerland increased to 3,289,798.83 in August from 2,280,496.82 in July of 2021. Consumers. The consumers' confidence indication in Switzerland fell to 3.8 in the fourth quarter of 2021 from a downwards reside 7.7 in the previous period, about the long run average of mains 5. Business. About the bankruptcies in Switzerland decreased to 12,912 companies and individuals in 2020 from 30,840 companies in individuals in 2019. And about the Switzerland Business Confederation decade of economic barometer in Switzerland fell there 110.7 in October of 2021 from an upper one reside 111 in September and compared with market expansion of 100.2. Taxes. The corporate tax rate in Switzerland stays 40.93%. Analysis. Switzerland's economy is one of the most competitors on the planet's thanks. Though it is service sector, while strong at the value, it is especially industry. Qualifiers and motive workforce. Switzerland's main economic activities are agriculture, machinery, electrical, and metrical industries, tourism, chemical, and pharmaceutical industries. The industries and commodities trades in retail trade. It is important to mention the trade balance making refers to exports falls by 1.4% month-on-month. The green done by sales of chemical and pharmaceutical products, precision instruments, and vehicles. Switzerland posters trade surprise of CHF 4.4 billion in October 2021, and imports fell 2.3% faster to a 3-month longer to lower purchase of medicinals and pharmaceutical, food and vegetables, vehicles, and plastics. Another indicator it is the current account, which records a country importers and exports of goods and services. The country records current account net surprise of 3.18% of GDP in 2020. The score market research has historical highs or in November 2020. A good point for the economic is awards where their numbers of employers in people in Switzerland. Switzerland has a great economic, but why the COVID-19 pandemic, the world younger change that affects it, but it is important to explain that Switzerland has the capacity to grow in North. In conclusion, Switzerland is a large country with a fairly high economic index and standards of living. It is a country that defends neutrally. It is a prosperous and modern American economic wide low unemployment and GDP per capita among the highest in the world. It is a low provide rate as well as swings the most rapid system and good infrastructure. Switzerland is in others a major economic power thanks to its long tradition of financial service and high quality, special manufacture of items such as precision times prices, optical, chemical, and pharmaceutical. Has our specialty for stern such are in milk cheese and milk chocolate, and important fact that makes their difference is that their Swiss authorities award numbers direct grants to farmers to the screen ecological criteria. Sorry. In their research, it has a the country of Switzerland has as well is economic when investors the difference indicators. It was a possible to observe how by their Swiss economy is on how import it is for the inhabitants. It become about their standards of living as well as their culture. I believe that Switzerland is an exemplar for flowers for others developing countries. Thank you.